welcome to my channel. I'm going to do another review for you today. This time it's going to be on the Physicians Formula Concealer Twins, available at most drugstores. Runs about $7 or $8. I got mine at Target. And it's basically a cream concealer with a color correcting side and a concealer side. I tend to like cream concealers. I find they generally have a little better coverage than the sticks. And I wanted to try something a little different than the concealer I've been using for years. Just out of curiosity. I might find something I like better. But basically all this is it's a cream concealer with a color correcting side. They have a green one and a yellow one. The green is good for redness and things like that, and then the yellow supposedly combats dark discolorations, bluish discolorations, such as dark under eye circles, or the packaging said bruising, which I find a little macabre, but I guess if you need to cover bruising, this is the way to go. I got the yellow one because I tend to have more issues with under eye circles than I do with redness, and it's just a little cream concealer bottle. And then sponge tip applicator. Just pretty basic applicator for cream concealer. And you put your color corrector over where it is you need to correct. And I wait a minute or two before I blend it in. And then you go in with your concealer. And the theory is this covers any minor skin discolorations as well as the color corrector. So it covers the green or the yellow. Okay, things I like about this. I like the idea. I like the idea of having the two sides in one, and having this. However, there are a lot of things I don't like about this. First of all, the consistency of the formula, the concealer, is very thin. It doesn't have as much coverage as I'm used to, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if you don't have much you need to conceal, you're fine, but sometimes I do have like pimples and stuff, so I want a more thick concealer. Also, it doesn't do as good a job at covering the yellow as it claims. I mean, I do let the yellow dry a bit before I put this on, and I dab it on like I'm supposed to, but it doesn't cover it very well, and it just makes a very cakey thing wherever I had to conceal over the corrector, which is never fun with makeup. And the last thing I have a problem with is the concealer itself, the shade. I don't know if this is the same everywhere, but where I live, this is your only choice of concealer color. No darker colors, no medium tones, just this one shade. Even their regular concealers, it's just this one shade. And it is light. I don't know what you'd do if you are darker complected than I am. If you're African American or something, I don't know what you'd do. This would be way too light for you. It's almost too light for me. Now granted, I'm not the fairest out there, but I'm fairly fair. So you need to basically be like a ghost, I guess, to really use this effectively, because you want your concealer to really match your skin tone. Now, if I do put my foundation on, it's fine, but, I don't want a concealer that's too light for me naturally. So, if you're lighter skinned, you can try this. If you're not, I wouldn't suggest it unless there is more options where you live. I'm not going to buy this again. I don't really recommend it. I mean, you can I don't hate it, but it's not very practical for most people, and I'm not going to go around recommending a product that I can't even really use myself. I mean, I can use it, obviously, I used it today, but it just doesn't do what it needs to do without looking really cakey or having to put a ton of, without having to put foundation on. I don't know if you can tell if it's a little cakey. Doesn't really show up in here, but it is a little bit cakey. And it's just too thin, it's too light, and the concealer doesn't cover what it needs to cover for me. It might work for someone else, but it doesn't really work for me. So I'm just going to stick with my old standby. So that's about all I have to say about this. And if you have any experiences you'd like to share, just leave it in the comments down below. And, I'd be interested to hear about it. Bye.